Today, DeWanna Boner had her first press conference, but did you know what she did before that? Did you see what she did? Instead of just joining the Indiana Fever, she made a statement before she even spoke. Instead of holding a fancy press conference and doing photo ops, Boner went straight to work with Caitlin Clark. Now, you might be wondering why this is such a big deal, but let me tell you that this isn't just any player. This is a Hall of Famer who chose to be the third option on a team. Can you believe that a player of her caliber putting aside her pride in order to pursue that championship? This is what winners do, people. Welcome to India. There were other offseason moves made by the Indiana Fever, but the one that got me out of bed a little bit quicker was the signing of DeWanna. If you thought you knew everything there was to know about her move to Indiana, get ready, because what's about to blow your mind away. Remember when Boner first arrived in Indiana, there was no fancy press conference or red carpet, but instead she went straight to the gym with Caitlin Clark. Yes, the same Caitlin Clark with whom she had that heated face-off during the playoffs. I can't wait to play with Caitlin. We actually had a great workout this morning, and I think we just get along well. A player that she isn't already is. Now, you might be asking, wait a minute, aren't these two supposed to hate each other? I mean, we all witnessed that intense moment on the court where it seemed like two fierce competitors ready to tear each other apart, but instead of harboring resentment, these two basketball powerhouses chose to use that fire to create something amazing. I'm just glad to be here, and I hope that I can teach her some skills to improve her game so that she can pass that on to other players when I retire. You don't see them very often in rookies, so hopefully, as I mentioned, I can make her life a little easier, not just for her and the entire team, but also for me. Imagine this. A Hall of Famer and the league's sexiest rookie pushing each other to the limit while drenched in sweat. There are no cameras or fans, just pure basketball. Can you believe it? DeWanna Boner came to Indiana and she already knows who she's dealing with. All right, I have a press conference bet, but first I'm going to get my shoes and a pair of shorts, and then my family and I will work out. But let's go back a little. The first part of that was that we had a great workout this morning. You see, Boner didn't come to Indiana to be the big shot. She's not here to steal the show or boss anyone around. No, she's here to be the missing piece. Can you believe it? A player of her caliber willing to be the third option on a team that's not just rare, it's unheard of. But here's the best part. Boner isn't just okay with this setup, she's thrilled about it. We actually had a great workout this morning, Caitlin, and I think we just feed off each other's energy. Did you notice that they're not just tolerating each other, they're feeding off each other's energy? Before I sit down and take all the questions, Scott and Pat, I'm going to work out with Caitlin. That's what I love to hear. Now, you might be wondering, but what about that heated moment? Bond made it clear that there were no drama or hard feelings, just two competitors recognizing each other's fire. That's the kind of mindset that builds championships, people. Fortunately for all of us, however, DeWanna Boner didn't hide the playoff moment with Caitlin Clark. It's a playoff moment with Caitlin Clark, but why does this matter so much for the Fever? Well, let's break it down. You have a young, hungry team that is on the verge of greatness, and now you have a veteran player who's been to the finals and knows what it takes to win. You see where this is going? Boner isn't just bringing her skills to the court, she's bringing a winning mentality and a championship culture. That's a fun one, but how do you think the competitive spirit between you two can push each other? Also, how do you think you two can fit together in terms of your complementary on-court play style? I'm glad you asked that because my inbox has been a flurry about that moment, but I think it's just two competitive players who want to win and push their team to get over the finish line. There are a lot of emotions and tensions because it's the playoffs, but I can't be more excited to play with Caitlin because Boner has been there, done that, and she's tasted defeat in the finals, so you can be sure that's given her the motivation to mentor these young stars and show them what it really takes to be a champion. Let me tell you, though, that when you have a Hall of Famer willing to put aside her pride and work with the team's rising stars, that's when magic happens. You see a real facility, not a shed that was purchased at a house, a real chef, not a lunch lady that's beyond your public relations. You see the real deal, and you have your workout bag with you. DeWanna Bonner welcomes Indiana. You've seen players like Chase Rings before, but her hunger is on a whole different level. We're talking about a player who has been to the mountaintop only to slip at the last second. And now she's not just climbing again, she's ready to conquer once more. Let's go back a second to this picture of the Bonner in the finals, the championship within reach, but then it slips away. Can you imagine the disappointment and frustration? The with-ifs, Bonner described it as a sucky feeling that has been haunting her. However, the thing is that loss didn't break her. It ignited a fire like, how have your dreams changed after achieving so many of them? What keeps you like, I want to win a championship, I want to win another championship, and I want to get back to the finals, first and foremost. I got there and I lost, and it's such a sucky feeling, and I haven't forgotten that moment, and I want to get back there. I want to win, so I'm a winner. I've always been a winner. And there's no greater feeling. But why Indiana? Why would a veteran with her resume risk everything on a young, unproven team? That's where it gets really interesting. Bonner isn't just here to win, she's here to build something. Even if we don't make it back to the finals, I still want to win every single game I play. I know that's not possible in this league, and you know that you won't win them all, but I just want to keep improving and growing, and once it's over, I'll be done with it. Imagine the pressure of that finals loss pushing Bonner to take this risky step. She's not just chasing a ring, she's chasing redemption, and she's doing it with a group of hungry players who are prepared to go out and get after it without being prodded. That's the kind of energy that Bonner is looking for. Even DeWanna Bonner, who could see it from Connecticut, is sitting on the bench listening to Christie say, yo, Stephanie, do you hear this woman? Well, let me tell you, when that player is DeWanna Bonner, she's not just bringing her skills to the court, she's bringing a winning mentality, a championship pedigree, and the experience of someone who's been there and knows what it takes to get to the top. She also talked about the Fever's core players, specifically the young core. In particular, Bonner's championship experience mingled with the Fever's young talent. It's like adding rocket fuel to an already potent engine. She is here to elevate everyone around her and to show these young stars what it truly means to be a champion. Now let's examine the specifics of her plans to turn this hunger into hardware. First, she has made it clear that she wants to win every game. That's the kind of mindset that changes a team's culture. She is also joining a team that is simply impressive. I believe everyone has seen the second half of their season, and it was an incredible season, and I just felt like they had a dynamic core. I hope that I can impart my knowledge and leadership to these young players so that they can take over when I retire. I know pass along, but it's not just about her individual performance. Bonner knows the power of a team that's all pulling in the same direction. She's talking about playing with a group that's hungry and doesn't need to be coached to give their all. That's the kind of environment where championships are born. I think they're young, but I also think they're great young. They kind of figure it out themselves. And I'm just hoping that I can add to it and make basketball a little easier for them, and they can make it a little easier for me. The best part is that Bonner's isn't just talking about winning, she's talking about growth. Bonner's arrival isn't just a new chapter for the Fever. It's the beginning of a whole new book. She's a true champion, and despite all of her accolades and her Hall of Fame resume, she's always trying to get better. Now that you're coming to Indiana, people are asking, where is DB falling on this? We know it's Caitlin and Kelsey, and then I would say, oh my God, yes, folks, I would rather have DB as my third option than Aaliyah Boston. I don't mean any disrespect to Aaliyah Boston, but DeWanna Bonner is capable of much more. Just wait until you see how Bonner fits into this lineup. We're not just talking about adding a star, we're talking about creating a perfect storm. You know what a super team looks like? Indiana is about to redefine it. Stephanie White has spent the last 2 years observing DeWanna Bonner's skill set. and what she can do on the court, including her movements and her demeanor. When she arrives in Indiana, the first thing she does is sit down. She immediately calls DB, and she already has DeWanna Bonner-Peniel in as the starting small forward for the 2025 season. Let's take a look at the impressive core of the Fever. Caitlin Clark is a rookie sensation who's already setting the league on fire, followed by Kelsey Mitchell, a scoring machine who has been quietly dominating. These young guns have been displaying some serious potential, particularly in the second half of the previous season, but something was lacking to push them over the top. Well, we've been telling you all year long, people, that this team wins despite the coach, not because of the coach, because King Clark is that good, but because Kelsey Mitchell is that good. Now imagine this Hall of Famer who is content to be the third option. That's what makes Bonner so special. Everyone else shines brighter, and I'm so excited to play with this group because I think they have an amazing mentality. I want to play with some players who will come out, and you don't have to coach them to do it. So I'm just hoping that I can come in and, I know I will, and I'll come in and be the player that I always have and add on to what they already have because I don't feel like I need to do much. You might be wondering how exactly Bonner fits in with these young stars, but let me tell you that she's a perfect fit. Bonner's incredible versatility will complement Clark and Mitchell perfectly, and she can score when. Coach Stephanie White says that having DeWanna Bonner here is a no-brainer because she is a Hall of Famer, a great teammate, and a tremendous leader in everything she does. Just by being around her, our young players can learn that she fits who we are and how we want to play. Bonner is already talking about how she can make basketball easier for her teammates. She isn't trying to change Clark's game because she knows Clark has the goods. Instead, she's focusing on how she can improve the team's overall performance. It's like having a coach on the court, but one who can still score 20 points if necessary. Now let's examine how this lineup could surprise the WNBA.